You've just stepped onto the plane, shuffled down the narrow aisle, and finally spotted your row. The relief of boarding hits. You're ready to collapse into your seat and breathe. But here's the truth. Few travelers realize those first 5 minutes after boarding are the most critical moments of your entire flight. Seasoned flyers know this isn't just routine, it's survival. What you do right now can decide whether you'll land rested and comfortable or trapped in a nightmare of jet lag, dehydration, and even misplaced documents that could leave you stranded in a foreign country. These opening minutes aren't about luck. They're about strategy, a checklist flight attendants secretly wish every passenger would follow. And today, we're pulling back the curtain. I'll reveal the essential moves that separate the amateurs from the pros, and missing just one could ruin your trip before the wheels even lift off the ground. Number 1, confirm your seat assignment. It sounds so simple, right? You walk down the aisle, glance at the number above, and sit. But here's the catch. Aircraft seat maps are not universal, and getting this wrong can cause more chaos than you'd expect. On one plane, seat A might hug the window. On another, A could be against a bulkhead with no window at all. Some airlines skip letters like I and S entirely to avoid confusion, leaving travelers scratching their heads. And in wide-body jets, the middle sections often follow a completely different lettering system. Now imagine this. You've confidently settled in, stretched out, maybe even unpacked your headphones, when another passenger shows up holding the same seat number. Suddenly, the boarding process grinds to a halt, flight attendants are called in, and the clock ticks while the entire cabin stares at you. That's why pros always double-check. Look at the boarding pass, confirm the row, count the letters from the window, and match it against the overhead bin number. A 10-second habit can spare you a very public, very awkward scene. Here's the insider secret. If you play it cool now, you'll also spot potential upgrades later. Once the seatbelt sign goes off, you might notice empty rows or a more comfortable spot. But to even have that option, you've got to start in the right place. So, before you relax, lock in your seat. This tiny move sets the stage for everything that follows. Number 2, master the overhead bin strategy. The overhead bins aren't just storage, they're a battlefield. And if you lose here, your flight comfort plummets before takeoff. Most passengers think the space right above their seat is guaranteed. Reality check, it's not. It's first come, first served, and once it's full, you're stuck gate checking your bag, kissing control goodbye. Here's what seasoned travelers know. Bins are designed for specific loading patterns. Rolling suitcases should go in wheels first or wheels out, depending on bin depth, always with handles toward the aisle. Do it wrong, and you're wasting inches that could have saved someone else's bag, or worse, you'll cause jams that delay everyone. But the bigger mistake? Waiting until you reach your seat to look for space. By then, it's too late. Smart passengers scan the cabin as soon as they board. If you're in boarding group 3 or later, claim a forward bin spot immediately. Why forward? Because when the plane lands, you'll naturally pass it on the way out. Store your bag behind you, and you'll be trapped waiting for half the cabin to move before you can backtrack. Every minute counts if you've got a tight connection. Missing this trick could mean sprinting across terminals, or worse, watching your next flight close the door in your face. Winning the bin battle isn't about luck, it's about being strategic before the chaos begins. Number 3, secure your personal item. That smaller bag, you tuck it under the seat. It's not just an accessory, it's your lifeline in the sky. Inside are the things you'll actually need when turbulence hits, when you're thirsty, or when boredom sets in. But here's the twist. Not all under-seat spaces are created equal. Window seats often hide clunky entertainment boxes that eat up half the room. Some exit rows, they don't allow under-seat storage at all. So before you commit, test the fit. Slide your bag under. If it doesn't fit smoothly, adjust now. Don't wait until you're crammed in with seatbelts fastened and flight attendants glaring down the aisle. And here's a mistake that has stranded countless travelers, leaving essentials in the seat pocket. Your passport, phone, or wallet might feel safe there, but those pockets are the #1 black hole of aviation. People forget things there every single day, only to realize hours later, when they're already in a different country. Instead, keep valuables in a zippered compartment of your bag or close to your body. Pull out only what you'll need mid-flight, headphones, medication, snacks, and place them in reach. That way, your bag compresses to fit snugly and your essentials stay safe. Think of this step as building your in-flight survival kit. Done right, you'll never scramble mid-flight, and you'll never suffer the heartbreak of realizing your passport is flying to Tokyo while you're stuck in customs. Number 4. Life vest and exit awareness. The shocking reality. Here's something airlines don't announce over the PA. Sometimes life vests go missing. Yes, the very equipment meant to save your life in a water landing gets stolen by passengers as souvenirs. Imagine reaching under your seat in an emergency and finding nothing. It's happened before, and it could happen again. That's why the moment you sit down, lean forward and look under your seat for that yellow package. It takes 3 seconds. If it's missing, press your call button immediately. Regulations require a vest at every seat, and the crew must replace it before takeoff. But survival isn't just below you, it's also around you. Count the rows between your seat and the nearest exits, both in front and behind. In smoke, chaos, or total darkness you won't be able to see. You'll be navigating by touch. Knowing those numbers now can be the difference between getting out safely or being trapped in panic. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. And in aviation emergencies, the ones who prepare quietly in those first minutes are the ones who walk away alive. Number 5. Test your seat and systems before it's too late. Most people sit down, buckle up, and assume everything works. But here's the harsh truth. Once the plane is in the air, your options vanish. If your screen is dead, your headphones don't fit, or your tray table won't lock, you're stuck with it for hours. That's why smart travelers run a quick systems check immediately. Plug in your headphones. Does the audio jack actually work? Tap the screen. Is it responsive or lagging so badly it'll drive you insane? Try the USB port or outlet. Better to know now than when your phone's at 3% and you're begging the crew for help they can't provide. Next, test the basics. Does your seat recline smoothly or does it grind like it's about to snap? Check your tray table. Does it lock in place or wobble dangerously enough to spill a drink mid-flight? These little things become huge irritations once you're locked at altitude. And here's the insider trick. If something is broken, speak up before takeoff. Don't demand. Politely explain the problem. Flight attendants sometimes move proactive passengers to better seats, even premium ones, if economy is oversold and they need to fix the issue. But once the cabin door closes, you've lost your chance. 1 minute of checking now can spare you hours of frustration later, or even score you an upgrade you never expected. Number 6, germs, surfaces, and the silent health risks. Everyone ignores. Airplanes turn around fast, sometimes in under 30 minutes, and that means deep cleaning rarely happens between flights. The truth? Your seat isn't as clean as you think. That tray table where you're about to place your snack, it may have been used by the last passenger as a changing table, a tissue holder, or worse. That's why seasoned travelers sanitize immediately. Wipe down the tray table, the armrest, the seatbelt buckle, even the touch screen in front of you. These high-touch surfaces are breeding grounds for germs passed along by hundreds of people before you. Ignore it, and you risk catching something unpleasant before you even reach your destination. And don't forget the safety card in the seat pocket. It looks innocent, but it's been handled by thousands of sweaty hands, sneezing passengers, and curious kids. A quick wipe can save you days of sickness later. Here's the bottom line. The air you breathe may be filtered, but the surfaces you touch are not. A 2-minute wipe down is the difference between landing healthy or starting your trip with a sore throat, fever, or worse. Most passengers roll their eyes at this step. The pros? They never skip it. Number 7, assess your surroundings. Theft, trouble, and tactical awareness. Most passengers board, plug in their headphones, and tune out the world. But here's the truth nobody likes to admit. Theft happens on airplanes more often than airlines want you to know. Think about it. Dozens of drowsy travelers, expensive electronics everywhere, passports stuffed into seat pockets, and a dark cabin during overnight flights. It's a pickpocket's dream. That's why pros take 60 seconds to scan their surroundings. Who's sitting beside you? In front? Behind? Is there a restless toddler ready to kick your seat for the next 6 hours? A seatmate already hogging the armrest? Or someone coughing nonstop? Noticing these details early gives you the chance to adjust before it becomes unbearable. More importantly, look for potential risks. A casual glance at your bag placement, your neighbor's behavior, or even how people are interacting nearby can save you from losing valuables. Thieves rely on distraction. Don't give them the opportunity. Here's a subtle but powerful move. Acknowledge your neighbors. Make quick eye contact, offer a polite nod, or say something simple like, "If you need the aisle, feel free to tap me." This small connection builds a cooperative atmosphere and makes you less of a target. People are far less likely to cross boundaries with someone they've spoken to directly. This isn't paranoia, it's strategy. At 3,000 feet, awareness isn't just about comfort. It's about protecting your belongings, your peace of mind, and sometimes your entire trip. Number 8, motion sickness, turbulence, and the air vent secret. Even if you've flown dozens of times without issue, motion sickness can strike when you least expect it. Turbulence, pressure changes, or even nerves can flip your stomach in seconds. And by the time nausea hits, it's often too late to fight back. That's why seasoned travelers prepare before takeoff. First, locate your air sickness bag. It sounds silly, but fumbling for it mid-flight while panic rises is the last thing you want. If you know you're prone to nausea, take your medication now. Most need at least 30-60 minutes to kick in. Wait until you feel sick, and you've already lost the battle. Now here's the insider trick almost nobody talks about: your air vent. That little nozzle above your head isn't just for comfort, it's a weapon against nausea. Point it so cool air flows gently across your face. This stimulates the same nerves as fresh outdoor air, helping your brain recalibrate when your inner ear is in chaos. It's the reason drivers rarely get carsick: airflow and focus. And if you're near a window, use it. Fix your eyes on the horizon or a stable point in the distance. No window? Lock your gaze on something steady inside the cabin, like the exit sign. This stabilizes your senses when turbulence makes everything else feel like it's spinning. The best flyers don't just endure turbulence. They prepare for it, quietly, effectively, and before anyone else even realizes what's happening. Number 9, hydration, jet lag, and the hidden desert inside the cabin. Here's something airlines don't highlight. The cabin you're sitting in is basically a flying desert. Humidity at cruising altitude drops to just 10 to 20%, far below the 30 to 60% your body is built for. The result? Dehydration creeps in fast, bringing headaches, fatigue, dry skin, and the kind of jet lag that can ruin the first 2 days of your trip. The biggest mistake? Grabbing coffee or alcohol right away. Both are diuretics, meaning they pull water out of your system when you need it most. Instead, make your first in-flight drink water. It sounds basic, but it's the single smartest move you can make. But here's the pro-level strategy. Don't rely on the flight attendants to keep you hydrated. Service is slow, carts are limited, and turbulence often interrupts drink rounds. Instead, bring an empty, reusable bottle through security and fill it at the gate. That way, you've got constant access without begging for a tiny plastic cup. And if you really want to fight jet lag, reset your phone and watch to destination time the moment you sit down. Your body clock listens to behavior cues, so acting like you're already there helps you adjust faster. Flying east? Force yourself to sleep. Flying west? Stay awake, even when you're tired. This mental shift is the first step to landing refreshed instead of wrecked. On a long flight, the difference between arriving energized or stumbling like a zombie often comes down to these two quiet choices: water and time. Number 10, the flight attendant secret that can change your entire experience. Most passengers see flight attendants as rule enforcers, the people who tell you to buckle up, stow your bag, or power down your phone. But here's what really happens behind the scenes. Within the first minutes of boarding, flight attendants are quietly categorizing every passenger: helpful, neutral, or potentially difficult. And that quick mental judgment shapes how they treat you for the rest of the flight. This is why the smartest travelers do something so simple it almost feels trivial. They make eye contact, offer a genuine smile, or share a polite word as they pass by. That's it. No demands, no complaints, just human connection. Here's the payoff. When meals run short, guess who gets the last special option? When an empty premium seat quietly opens up, guess who gets moved? And when turbulence delays service, who's more likely to get a free drink or a little extra attention? It's the passengers who treated the crew like people, not obstacles. I've watched it happen countless times. Friendly passengers upgraded to premium economy, given priority help during rebooking, or quietly offered small perks that made a huge difference. Meanwhile, the entitled ones, they get the bare minimum because the crew already decided they'd be trouble. So the secret is simple: be memorable for the right reasons. Your flight attendants are your allies if you let them be. Number 11, pre-takeoff prep, the last moves before the cabin doors close. As departure nears, you'll hear the announcements, see the cabin crew hustling, and feel the tension rising. This is your signal to lock everything in. And no, these aren't meaningless rituals. Every single step has a life or death reason behind it. First, return your seat to the full upright position. Sounds annoying, but in an emergency, a reclined seat blocks evacuation paths and slows everyone down. Then, lock your tray table tight. A loose one can become a dangerous projectile if the plane slams on the brakes. If you're at the window, open the shade fully. This isn't just for the view. It helps the crew assess conditions outside, and in an evacuation, it gives rescuers a clear line of sight. Now stow everything loose. Bags, headphones, even that book in your lap. Anything not secured can go flying forward during sudden turbulence or an aborted takeoff. Finally, buckle your seatbelt snugly across your hips. Keep it visible on top of blankets or jackets so crew can confirm at a glance. That little tug of the strap could save you from serious injury if the plane jolts unexpectedly. And don't play games with airplane mode. One phone won't crash a plane, but hundreds of phones pinging towers can interfere with communications during the most critical moments of flight. When the crew tells you to switch, do it. It's not about control, it's about safety. These small moves, done in silence just before takeoff, transform you from a distracted passenger into someone fully prepared. Everyone else is still fumbling, but you're already locked in. Number 12, mindset, calm, and the one ritual that changes your entire flight. Engines roar, the cabin shakes, and for many passengers, stress levels spike. But here's the truth. Your body doesn't have to ride that same wave of chaos. In fact, the last thing you do before takeoff can set the tone for every hour that follows. Take just 60 seconds for yourself. Close your eyes. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Repeat it 5 times. This isn't new age fluff, it's proven science. That breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, cutting stress hormones and lowering muscle tension. Pair that with a simple intention. Picture yourself landing refreshed, stepping off the plane with energy instead of exhaustion. Studies show visualization like this directly influences how your body processes fatigue, turbulence, and even jet lag. Think about it. While everyone else is hunched over, restless and agitated, you're already in control. You've checked your seat, secured your bag, wiped your surfaces, counted your exits, hydrated, and now you've calmed your mind. As the wheels roll back and the plane pushes toward the sky, you're not just another stressed traveler. You're prepared, grounded, and ready for whatever the journey throws your way. Let's rewind. In those first crucial minutes after boarding, you confirmed your seat, secured bin space, kept your essentials close, and checked for safety gear. You tested your seat, wiped down the germs, stayed alert to your surroundings, and prepared for turbulence. Then you hydrated, reset to destination time, connected with the crew, locked in for takeoff, and finally calmed your mind. Each step is quick, but together they turn a stressful flight into a smooth one. While others land tired and frustrated, you'll step off ready and in control. So, which of these moves have you skipped before? And which will you try on your next trip? Drop it in the comments below. If this helped, hit like, subscribe for more travel secrets, and share with a friend who always struggles on planes. Safe travels. See you in the next one.